So I'm here with Cassell the Beatmaker. We're going to talk about working remotely, this project with Max Stone, and mixing. So yeah. So hi Cassell, how you doing?
I'm cool.
So
considering we're in lockdown, but you know how it goes.
I know it's just into this lockdown business.
Mm.
So just give us a little bit about your background.
So I started off as a live musician playing drums, and then I slowly went on to start producing in the studio. So the biggest things that I've done so far are probably winning my Ivor Novello for Plan B's album, The Defamation of Strickland Banks. I'm currently playing live in a band called The Streets. Probably there's loads of other things there is, but I never remember stuff about myself. So just go to Cassell the Beatmaker something and Google me and you'll find out what I've done. But they're the main things I can think of.
Yeah, because you also did drums with Akala.
Yep, so you know more than me.
Duffy.
Duffy.
Yeah.
There's loads of people. Pixie-Lock. I'm not really a good person for name dropping, but again, you probably know more than me when you read up on the internet about me. But yeah, that's it, I suppose. Yeah.
Cool. So the project with Max Stone, how did that come about?
It's funny, like I started working with Max when I was working with my best friend and a friend of his, and we made a little team called SMV, and basically we were working with different artists. That's when I had my publishing deal. So I was working with a load of different artists, and then Max, his manager, spoke to our manager at the time, and then we hooked up a session. And then from that, it was years ago, me and Max remained really good friends and really tight. So then he went off, and then he rang me one day when he was doing, I think it was the X Factor or one of them. Yeah, he was in the house. And he was like, "Oh, I want to start doing my own stuff, and I'm not with my management anymore, and I want to start doing things." So I was like, "Yeah, let's do that." And then so as soon as he came out of the X Factor thing, we arranged some sessions, and then we did a load of songs, and we did his first EP, which came out really, really good. And then we've just been working since then, just working on his project, which it's really good. He's a really good artist, really, really good. So yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Cool. So I kind of came across it as a mixing engineer. So we started mixing it at your studio, and then lockdown happened.
Yeah.
So we had to resort to some other ways of getting the project done, because I was using your setup, your plugins. It was in Studio One. So then we converted to working on TeamViewer.
Yeah.
So we used TeamViewer and another plugin called Audio Movers.
Yep.
So tell me how did you find that process, sort of working remotely? Well, I was working remotely, I guess.
Yeah, you was working remotely, mixing it. You know what? I think that's the future anyway. That's where it's all going. It's just that it's because of the delays, it can be annoying, especially for you mixing it. So it was good in that you can save a lot of time. So all that time you spend traveling to my studio, that's work. So that was one good thing. But, even though, it was good that you could get access to my computer and all my plugins and all, basically it's just like you were sitting in my studio. But it would be sitting in my studio with a little bit of delay, right? So every time you did something, it would delay a little bit. But, we had no choice and we got through it and it worked. So if we could just cut that delay down, it would be brilliant. The possibilities of that just open up everything, because then you could work. I don't know if there's any programs actually or any software that actually works better without a delay, but just imagine the possibilities of that, working with people just overseas and everything like that, instantly as well and in real time, because basically I could still sit here like we're talking on Zoom now and be in a session. Do you know what I mean? Be in a session. And even with that, because you're controlling my computer, I could also take over and control my computer as well. So it was good in the sense that if the delay wasn't there, it would be good because we would have our own space as well. When you're in a studio, especially if you haven't got a big studio, it's nice to have space so you're in your own surroundings. Do you know what I mean? So it's good. And it was good because that means once you had finished mixing, I have the session, because sometimes when I give a session, like if I was giving it to you, we've done it once or twice, I've given it to you and you use your plugins, and then you have to stem it all down because I haven't got your plugins. And if you don't do that, because that's quite a process, and if you don't do that, then that means when I want to come back to it in 2 months or whenever, I have to give you a call and hope that you've got that session still. Do you know what I mean? But if you do it on my system, with all the plugins that I'm used to as well, I can just recall it back up. Do you know what I mean? It's easier. Or if I need to tweak something you've done, I don't have to keep bothering you. I can just tweak it. On a learning score, like, I can see how you do certain things. It's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, I mean, I obviously rate you as a mix engineer, producer, and all of them things. So it's nice to see somebody else do something from a different angle, and then all of a sudden your skills become better because I've seen something that you've done. I'm going, oh, I want that sound. How does Rich get that? I know how to do it. So on that front, it's good, and just the whole communication thing constantly is really nice as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say the benefit for me was instant feedback, because you could be there while I was mixing, you could see the session, and then just not having to I don't have that plugin. Oh no, I've got to go and get that plugin. It's just like, okay, this is the session. I can just work from here. Yeah. So from that sense, it was great. The delays, had to get used to the delay, because on Studio One, as you're moving, as many programs do actually, as you're moving up the clip, the tool will change, and so sometimes because of the delay, I'd gone past the tool, and then had to kind of But once I'd adjusted the like my timing, it kind of worked out all right actually.
Hats off to you, because you had to learn a new software. You learned a new, even though it's the best software in the world, that you learned, Studio One is going to take over everything because they're so good. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, they're just tools at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And most DAWs have got similar, got all the same functions. Do you know what I mean? Some just do it better than others. But because you're experienced, you could easily work it out because you know what the functions mean. So you just had to adjust to more about where they are than how to use them.
Yeah.
Sense, yeah. So, but yeah, that I think the fact that you could just do that and just use my software made everything easier for me, because I wouldn't have a clue if I had to go and use Pro Tools right now. That would be a myth for me. So, you know what I mean? But so that's really good as well, really, really good.
So how have you found lockdown in general, like work-wise, just
lockdown
mentally?
In general? Basically, I'm supposed to not be here. I'm supposed to be touring right now. Do you know what I mean? So like all my live stuff's been cancelled till next year. So now I have to find a new way of working. This is why this whole remote thing is really important, because I need to find a way to work with people like yourself and artists remotely. Do you know what I mean? So we can keep working. So I'm just trying to work that out right now. Do you know what I mean? So it's good that, me and you've worked together, so we can kind of see how to do it. But I just think if we can find a smoother way of doing it, it will be much better. But I mean, besides that, it's been a bit sad because I've had close friends pass away. As you know, Ty passed away. So that this whole lockdown situation is, in that respect, has been stressful and sad. You know what I mean? But we just have to go forward and go on, and just I think the way everything's changing has its minuses and its pluses. Do you know what I mean? As I said, a big thing when you're doing recording, you waste the most time traveling to the destination. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes I must admit, I do like being in the studio with people actually physically here, but sometimes you just you need to get work done, don't you? So like talking like we're talking now is more productive. Do you know what I mean? Because we get things done quicker. We can do it at any time in our own time, whatever. And time, as they say, is money. So all that money spent traveling, even for you, even if we're talking about petrol and stuff, do you know what I mean? You don't have that expense anymore. Do you know what I mean? So in that way, it's better. And then I think it will make us do more things together. Look, I haven't spoke to you for years. Do you know what I mean? And then we've just reconnected, and we used to work together all the time. But I suppose this whole COVID situation has has made us reconnect with everybody. Like, you know what I mean? How many people have you spoke to that you ain't spoke to within years? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
So that's good, you know, like, because you forget about all your friends that have got them skills and just that are your friends in general. Do you know what I mean? So that's been a positive thing. Do you know what I mean? Just being able to reconnect with people and work with people. Do you know what I mean? Without the traveling. You know, so yeah, pluses and minuses.
And you said, I think Max is been recording from home. Have you been streaming that using audio movers?
You know what? We haven't actually tried that yet, but Max has just got this new mic that I want to get. So the company's sending it to me, hopefully, and I'm going to try that out. So that means we'll be using exactly the same mics, exactly the same treatment, because it comes with its own like halo thing as well, which is supposed to be pretty good.
Is that the Aston?
Yeah, the Aston, that's it. How terrible is that I didn't remember what the name was? But I've heard a lot about this company, you know, and it's a British company. The people are getting some really good results. So they're going to send me over some of their mics, and I will be using them, you know, and hopefully they will become my main mic that I use, you know, because I am using the, I've got a Manley reference mic, and then I use the Shure SM7B for vocals as well, which is pretty, I mean, they're both really, really good. The problem with it's not a problem, but the Manley picks up every single thing. It's a brilliant mic. It's not for everybody's voice. The thing I like about the Manley for certain people's voices, it's like it's already mixed and already compressed when you use it. It's really weird. It gives it this sound. It's really nice. I suppose if you're doing like pop vocals and stuff, it's good. It's good because it just sounds a certain way straight away. I like the SM7 because I feel it has a bit more body. I think, yeah, and it's just direct, so it doesn't pick up, mainly because it doesn't pick up anything else. So like before, I used to have a studio and used to have a divide. So when I was using the Manley, it was no problem because it just didn't pick up nothing. Now I haven't got a divide. I can still use the Manley, but I literally have to be not moving, because if I just move like this or rustle or anything, the Manley will pick it up. Do you know what I mean? So I would literally have to sit there like a statue and make sure, you know, it just picks up everything, but it sounds great. The Shure SM7, you don't need to do that. Like, it doesn't really pick, it's just direct. You only pick up what's in front, and it sounds amazing, you know. Like the man is like a £2,000 like microphone, and the Shure, what's that, 300 and something pound, and it sounds great. Do you know what I mean? For certain things. So yeah, but then this Aston mic might be a good compromise between both of them. And it just sounds amazing. I heard a recording with it after like Max, because Max has just got it, and I heard a recording, and it just sounds really, really good. And I just had to ask them what was the chain they used, because, you know, you can make if you put it through a chain of preamps and stuff, of course it's going to sound. Do you know what I mean? And I think one guy just told me used, was it the LA2? Is it the two? What is it called?
The LA2A.
Yeah, the LA2A.
The optical compressor.
That. Yeah. And then yeah, and it just sounded amazing. So when I get it, I will just put it through, I don't know, like, because I'm using UAD stuff. So, you know, you can just, the thing about the UAD stuff, it does sound really, really close. Unless you're like been using the hardware for years, I don't think you're going to be able to tell whether you're using hardware or software. Do you know what I mean? And I'll just put it through one of them preamps. Do you know what I mean? And it's affordable. Like, if I try to get all them preamps, what the UAD does, as in actual hardware units, I have to remortgage my house or something. But like, when you've got UAD and the plugins, they're all affordable, and they sound like, UAD sounds amazing. Do you know what I mean? I think their stuff is brilliant, and I use it a lot. And that's why, going back to when me and you were working, I wanted you to use some of them plugins, because it's, when you're doing production, part of your production is the sound. So like, when I do production, I'll mix as I go along. So as I'm producing, I'm mixing. So by the time it gets to you, you'll have a good idea of the sound I was going for. And it might be that you just tweak a few things or change a few plugins that you think would sound better. Do you know what I mean? But you can do it all using the UAD stuff, so I've still got that same sound, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
So yeah, and I know obviously because you're a Pro Tools man, and so you've got your own plugins. There are plugins that you probably would have gone to anyway before, but you found the equivalence, if you know what I mean. So convenience. It's just convenient. That's the word I mean. It's just convenient.
So what have you got coming up?
I want to get back to touring, man. I just miss that so much, because the thing about what I do, I mixed it up a lot. So sometimes I was in the studio, sometimes I was touring, sometimes I'll go and do like a music workshop in Hong Kong. You know, sometimes I'll do TV work. I've just started doing some stuff for TV. And sometimes I'll maybe do some sound packs, you know. You can mix it up, so you can always, because, you know, also in this industry, sometimes certain parts of like live work will die down, do you know what I mean? And then you have to find something else to do in that time of the year, kind of thing, you know. So besides just moving around so I don't get bored, you know, like if you like, too much touring can get boring, too much studio work can get boring, do you know what I mean? So if you just mix it around, then you don't get bored, and you can make a better income, because, you know, sometimes it's really hard just to be a live session musician and make money that way, you know. But the fact that I can just come into the studio and bounce off different parts or aspects of music means I stay working for most of the year, you know. So I've just got to work that out on how to do that here, like, because everything's on a lockdown and everything, so I've got to figure, because people can still rehearse remotely, you just got to set it up. So I've got to do that, and just make sure the internet speeds are correct. My internet's pretty quick, but maybe I need to have a faster speed and just work out a way for things just to work smoothly, you know. And obviously find the right software, like you mentioned, we're using audio movers at the moment. And what's good about that is you can well, they just updated it, so now I can record you for your interface. So if you're a guitarist or a vocalist even, and you're singing through your interface, I can record it on my system. You know, the only problem I've found with it so far is that there's a little bit of a delay, so you have to move the recording back in time. So if you didn't have to do that, I mean, and the reason you could work, I could just send you the track, and then there would be no delay, and then you record it on your side, which is cool. But like, you know, it kind of gives you that feeling of being in the same studio. If I'm controlling the engineering part of it and then the musicians doing their part of it, it gives you that sense of being in the same studio. Do you know what I mean? And again, I can work on things instantly. You know what I mean? So it doesn't make a big difference that you're not in the studio anymore. And as I said, because it's remote, the timings that you do things and is just, you just can do it when you want. Do you know what I mean? Where if you're coming to me, I have to wait for you to come to my house. Do you know what I mean? I could just ring you up and say, Red, are you doing anything now? And you'll say no. So do you want to do a mix? And it could be instant. Do you know what I mean? And I can be in the room. Because the thing is, when you're in the same room as people, you bounce off them. So even when I'm working with Max, like I say to Max, you could actually record these vocals yourself. And Max will turn around and say to me, no, but I like you in the room because you always give me these ideas. Or if I'm singing something, you'll give me feedback on what I'm doing instantly. And I come out with better takes doing it that way. Do you know what I mean? And it's true. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm working with you and I'm playing drums and I do something, you'll say, oh, I want you to do this. I want you to play it this way. And it's instant. And you don't have to wait for me to do a stem, send it to you, and then tell me that. Do you know what I mean? And then I have to record everything again. We can do it in real time. And I think that's definitely the way forward for everything.
Yeah, makes sense. Sounds good. Well, I look forward to finishing the project and for everyone to be hearing it.
Yeah, it's going to be wicked.
Yeah. So it's sounding good so far. Sounding good. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for talking to me, and we'll catch up soon.
Nice one.
Thanks.
That's good beat music.